Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're taking a trip to Alton Towers to talk about 5 ways to get the most out of your day. I don't know about you, but sometimes I've had some really poor days at theme parks where it's been really busy and I've not managed to get on many rides at all. I'm a complete adrenaline junkie and love to get in plenty of re-rides on my favourite roller coasters. So here are my 5 top tips for getting the most out of your day, specifically at Alton Towers. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing as it really does help out the channel. Number 1. Plan in advance. It sounds obvious, but it's a good idea to look for seasonal quiet spots if you have that flexibility. I generally find that weekdays, especially Tuesdays, Wednesdays, term time or exam time for schools are usually much quieter. People will usually plan for a nice sunny day, and while it's generally what we all prefer, a slightly rainy day can still be pleasant and much quieter. When I visited Alton Towers, it did rain for a part of the day, but it didn't put a dampener on my fun or make me enjoy the coasters any less. Don't get caught out by the short days like I did in October 2023. I didn't realise that on super quiet days, Alton Towers can be open 10 AM through to 4 PM. I found that it didn't spoil my days. I had plenty of re-rides on all the coasters, but I did have to rush around to fit everything in 6 hours. Some of you may not like to do that, so it's worth keeping in mind whenever you plan a trip. I also find it beneficial to pay for the car parking in advance if you aren't staying at the hotel, as it does save some time. Number 2. Maximise your time. Book your tickets online. It saves you needing to purchase them at the park, and they tend to be cheaper. This means that when you arrive at the park, you can head straight to the entrance gates. Alton Towers actually opens its gates at 9 AM, so be sure to get there early. They open their theme park and monorail at 9 AM as well as the queue lines. If you get to the park early, you can usually avoid queuing at the monorail and park entrance. As I've already said, the queue lines are also open, so this means you can get in line for your favourite ride. I'm not so keen on giving advice on which area of the park is best to go to first, as there's never a guarantee that rides will be open throughout the day. A good example for me was when I visited last. I grabbed a ride on the Wicker Man on the morning and it was closed shortly after for a little while. For this reason, I generally recommend queuing for your favourite ride. Exactly the same thing happened with the big one at Blackpool Pleasure Beach. We waited in line and it closed shortly after but didn't reopen. We managed a ride, so we were very lucky. If you've purchased a fast track and need to redeem these for a wristband, guest services are usually open before 10 AM as well, so this means you can grab your wristband before the rides officially open. As with everything, things can change, but when I visited in 2023, I was able to redeem my wristband before the rides opened. Number 3. Plan your lunch break. Some of you may want to have a break and sit down for lunch, but I guess there are many like me that like to eat on the go, so you're not eating into precious roller coaster riding time. My husband hates me for this. It may be worth trying to eat earlier or later to avoid peak lunch break periods where you know that food spots are going to be busy. If you're like me and generally eat on the go, you could always grab a sandwich, drink from one of the shops, kiosks dotted around the park and eat as you're heading towards your next ride. There are usually bins within the queues themselves or dotted about the park, so there should be plenty of opportunity to dispose of any rubbish. Number 4. The Smiler Single Rider Queue. Yep, the Smiler operates a single rider queue. This roller coaster usually gets quite a long line regardless of the season, so if you don't mind sitting without your friends or family, the single rider queue is perfect for cutting down your waiting time. I used the single rider queue when I visited Alton Towers on my second day, and it actually got me on the ride quicker than my fast pass the day before. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Number 5. Purchase a fast track. If what I've already discussed can't be avoided and you've no choice but to go when you know the park is likely to be busy, consider a fast pass if, like me, you don't have an annual pass and don't visit very often. There are a few different options which vary in expense. You can also purchase single shop fast track passes for approximately £8 each. I know they can be expensive, but I personally find it such a shame to spend so much money on tickets, parking, fuel, time, as well as booking holidays at work to not have a good day. We all deserve a treat from time to time. Last but not least, here is a bonus tip. The park closes at various times throughout the season, as well as the queue lines for attractions. However, the attractions themselves don't actually close. This means that you can queue for your last ride of the day just before closing time. It doesn't matter whether the queue line is an hour long. If you get to the queue line before closing time, then you'll be able to wait for that ride. A downside to this is that the monorail will likely to be quite busy, but I found that walking back to the car park is just fine. I have found that Alton Towers are quite strict with their queues, so make sure you do get there before closing, which remember varies throughout the season. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Catch you on the next one.